Most folding fat tire e-bikes look mostly the same. So how do you know which one is actually right for you? Now, I rolled all three to find out the real differences that you can't see on the spec sheet. So today, we're going to be comparing all three of Heybike's folding e-bikes. The Mars 2.0, which is what we have right in front of us here, the Horizon, and the Ranger S. They all look similar at first, but they solve different problems and they feel different on the road. Now, the Mars 2.0 is the least expensive and the most compact. The Horizon is the most comfortable with the biggest battery, bigger tires, and full suspension. The Ranger S sits in the middle with a larger battery than the Mars and more everyday usability. And I want to ride all three, and I want to see which one makes the most sense for real riders on normal roads. So let's talk more about the Mars 2.0. Now, it's a folding fat tire electric bike that focuses more on portability, power, and versatility. It features a removable 600 watt-hour lithium-ion battery and claims up to a 45-mile range. It comes with a choice of motors, including a 750-watt version or a 1,000-watt version. It rides on large 20 by 4-inch fat tires for better grip on road and mixed surfaces, and includes a suspension fork with 65 millimeters of travel for added comfortable, and it is adjustable. It folds down and can still support a payload of up to about 330 pounds. And it comes with a rear rack, fenders, and a kickstand, and an app connectable display system, giving it practical extras for commuting or storage. Now, while it may not have rear suspension or the premium components of the higher end bikes, it does offer a compelling package for riders wanting a foldable fat tire e-bike for everyday use and light off-road. And now for the fun part. What is it like to ride the Heybike Mars 2.0 folding e-bike? And, you know, I'll just say it right off the bat. A lot of these smaller ones can sometimes feel a little skittish or a little flighty. They don't feel as stable. That is not the case with the Mars 2.0. This thing handles really, really well. And I don't know if what they've done to this one that is different from many others. The brakes on this thing feel exceptional. Now, it is running the RSX hydraulic disc brakes, but they just feel better than most. Really progressive linear feel. They're really strong. So yeah, initial impressions are really positive. Let's do our high-speed downhill test and see what it's capable of. Let's crank it up to power mode 5 and see what she's got. And right off the bat, it's giving us an indicated 32 miles an hour, 34 miles an hour indicated. And again, the Mars 2.0 is very, very stable. I really, really like it. I mean, 35 miles an hour indicated. We'll see what the GPS tells us. But yeah, this thing already is a bit of a humdinger. But we're about to head through our S curve. Let's see what it can do. Like the hydraulic brakes, I'm already pretty confident that they feel really nice, really precise. Through the S curve, really stable. Into the next turn, and oh yeah, it just gives you a lot of confidence, this bike. Back on the throttle, and we accelerate through the tree grove, which is a lot less leafy than normal because we are now nearing the end of fall. They're predicting we might actually get snow this weekend. How sad is that? My, how time flies. But we're climbing up through the S curves to the backside of this park, and it's going 20 miles an hour, 23 indicated is what it says. Outstanding, just exceptional. I'm really, really impressed with this. Yeah, and the stability of this thing, the rake and trail, the front end's very planted. Really happy with this thing. Now, it is not full suspension, as we talked about, but it has a fully adjustable front fork, and the damping rates and the compliance of the fork is really good. And we should also mention it has the suspension seat post, which just makes it just that much more comfortable. Now it's time for our 11% uphill grade, and it's already slowing down. So 26 miles an hour is what it's saying now. I'm not gonna pedal. We're just gonna see how it does up the 11% grade, throttle only, and slowing down, 19, 18, 18, 17, 16. I like it. I really like it. As we head through our first park on our way down to loop our big park, let's go back down to a mellower power mode, which is how you can really extend the range on these things. Don't just bomb around in power mode 5. That you won't get the range you may need out of it. What I like to do is I run a lower power mode, especially on downhills or if it's flat, and then I crank up the power mode or hit the throttle to get up the steep bits, and your battery will last significantly longer. E-bikes are everywhere. Across the bridge, let's talk about the switch gear on this. It has these really nice, soft, squishy, wide paddle hand grips. We have our throttle right here. We have our very standard traditional shifter. It's set up like a traditional bicycle where the rear brake is on the right, the front brake is on the left. We have our power modes up and down. And as we head into the tunnel, let's hit our horn, and an extraordinarily loud digital horn. And above the horn button, we have a headlight on and off. And if I kind of rush through, because I wanted to honk the horn by the time we got through the tunnel, power mode up and down, so you can increase how much power you get and whatever, and hydraulic brakes. Now, it works like most e-bikes, whereas with the power off, you can run it like a traditional push bike. You just pedal it, you turn the power on, and you can either use throttle only, and it'll go. So off it goes now, throttle only. Or you can do pedal assist. So that's where you pedal, there's a sensor inside the frame, and it gives you a certain amount of power as you go up the hill, so you don't have to work so hard. So you basically get three bikes in one, you know, full throttle mode, hybrid mode, and pure analog mode. And, you know, this is, you know, we're comparing this one against the other two Heybike folding bikes that we've tested, the Ranger and the Horizon. This is the smallest of the three. But, you know, Heybike is a pretty reputable company. The build quality of the bikes that they do is up there. I don't feel like you're sacrificing much on the traditional or the typical Heybike quality and fit and finish and all that. So really, it's really going to come down to which bike is going to fit your use case the best. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But for now, let's see how fast it goes in each power mode. So we're going to put it back down into power mode 1. We're going to give it throttle and see how fast it'll go. And I'm betting it's going to just run us full speed in each power mode. Yeah, we're going to go 26 or whatever. It's going to go as fast as it goes in the power mode. So that tells us that this one works based on pedal assist. So in power mode 1, pedal assist seems to stop at about 10 miles an hour. Power mode 2, pedal assist takes us up to about 15. It's kind of hard to tell. Pedal assist in power mode 3 jumps right up to about 19. Power assist 4, we're going uphill, so we can't really test it, over 20 miles an hour. And then pedal assist in power mode 5 is going to be as fast as it'll go. And it's interesting that different e-bikes perform very differently in that test. Some of them, the throttle is limited based on power mode. This one, it seems to be limited based on pedal assist. So if you want to hit the throttle, it's going to give you full power. And quite honestly, I prefer that system. I like being able to keep it in power mode 1, so I am getting a little bit of exercise, but if it gets to a steep hill or I need to go faster, I can just hit the throttle and it's going to take off as we do here. And let's do our single track test here. And this has the smaller wheels, and not surprisingly, it's doing extremely well. I don't want to hit that tree. Yeah, the front fork on this is really good. The damping rates on it are really controlled. It's compliant. I mean, we're flying through there, and it was rock solid. You know, for a smaller wheeled e-bike, this is the 20-inch wheels, this might be the most stable of all the 20-inch wheel bikes on our single track test. So that's pretty impressive. And because this thing has the big motor and the big battery, this version of the one that I have here, it is quick. And it's time to do our lap around Sugar House Park. It is busier in here than I thought it would be, especially considering on how chilly it is. And away we go on our lap of Sugar House Park. And we're flying. We're already passing cars. How about that? Look at it go. Not surprisingly, this thing has shown to be pretty quick through all of our tests thus far. And it's a boogieing, like it's not even slowing down up the hill. I'm not pedaling. Just throttle only and look at it go. Yeah, this thing is fast. This thing is probably too fast. I'm gonna go back to pedaling because that's gonna slow me down a little bit to a more appropriate speed given the traffic and number of people that are out and about today. So power mode 3, it seems to be giving me assistance to about 20 miles an hour. And the criticism of that's going to be, I'm kind of spinning out on the pedals. The gear ratio, you're not going to be pedaling much faster than 20 miles an hour, as it were. So yeah, so power modes 4 and 5, probably only really going to be used for going up bigger hills. But this is a good speed. This seems like the appropriate pace. Once again, through the corners, the Mars 2.0 is rocking it. Super stable. Liking this bike. Liking this one bike more than average, I think. And let's see how we get up this hill. We got a lot of traffic going on. Now, we're just going to take the full lane. I'm going to use some throttle. Yeah. This bike is slaying it. Yeah, the Heybike Mars 2.0. Yeah, nice and stable with that corner. Really like it. Now, compared to the Heybike and the Ranger, they're all kind of 3 different sizes. The smallest one, and then they get progressively bigger. It's really going to come down to your use case and what you want out of it. I think it's going to be hard to pass up the smaller one because there's a lot of advantages to a bike that's easier and smaller to stuff into a corner. It folds up easier. Easier to lift into the back of a car if you need to. This one just handles really, really well. Honestly, I think this one might be the best handling of all 3 of them. And that's a pretty high bar because the other 2 I thought were exceptional. Back down the other side. This bike is moving. You can hear those brakes. They sound good. You know, that brings up another point I hadn't really realized or noticed. This is a quiet bike. There are no clangs or rattles or bangs. This thing is silent, and I really like that. I like riding a quiet bike, and this one is quiet. So let us head off into the adventure-y portion of our ride over the grass and over the bridge and up the grassy knoll, the biggest challenge of the official Fox Rides test loop. Oh, got a little bit of air there. This thing is fast. And geez, the stability on it. Yeah, it's a confidence-inspiring bike. Pretty impressed with it. I don't think we're gonna have any problem making it up the grass. You know, look at this thing go. All right, slowing down a little bit. All right, 8 miles an hour. We're going up straight up. We're not taking any shortcuts. We're not going up the angles. Oh, I'm going to give it a little help so I don't burn up the motor. But yeah, totally did it. That is impressive. It's kind of interesting, right? most bicycles have all the round tubes. This thing has these square steel beam looking things, kind of a very non-traditional frame design, like one big bar across the front, but it really seems to work. Yeah. So I think it is time now that we put the park behind us and work our way back up the hill. Now, if you are enjoying this video, and I'd like to think that you are, I would really appreciate it if you would consider clicking on like and subscribe. We've been doing this for about 1.5 years now. I just love these e-bikes, but I think the hardest part is figuring out which one works for you. There's so many different models and makes and different kinds, and even this video right here, we're comparing 3 Heybikes to each other to help you figure out which one is right for you. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers, that puts us into the next category of monetization. It'll make it so much easier for us to continue making this content, because some of these bikes are sent to me, some of them I buy on my own, but I want to be able to keep making these for you. So yeah. Now, unfortunately, we are to the part of the video where we have to talk about what we don't like about the Heybike Mars 2.0. And, you know, I'm coming up with a big donut on this one. Well, all right, I gotta find something for you. I'm surprised it doesn't have turn signals. It's using the brake light that has the turn signals built into it. I think it would have been really simple or easy to put the turn signals on it, but that's all I got. It seems like many of the other e-bike companies, they will save cost by putting on cable brakes. These guys didn't. They gave us the hydraulic brakes. So I'm really having a hard time to be critical about this bike in any regard. I think especially for the price point, the quality of the components, yes, you could put a higher spec rear derailleur on it, but the overall package of this bike is exceptional. And I know we're supposed to be comparing the 3 Heybikes to each other as to which one's best for you. And I have to be honest, if I was shopping the 3 of them, I'd be hard pressed not to get this one. I really like so much about it, including I think it's the right size. Now, I have to caveat that with, I am only about 5'7". If you're a much bigger person, if you're like into the 6-foot range, this thing will be pretty uncomfortable for you, and you'd want to be looking at the Horizon or the Ranger. As far as power and performance and range and things of that nature, this thing seems to really hit the nail on the head, especially for how I would use and how I do actually use e-bikes. And as is typical Heybike, the paint quality, the fit and finish on it is really nice. They didn't scrimp on the things that mattered. This thing comes with a rear rack. It has the gussets. You could put a front rack on it if you wanted to, but the rear rack is the important one. And I say this probably with every e-bike review that we do. Every e-bike should come with a rear rack. To me, that should be just a requirement. That's how these things are used most of the time. They are used for utilitarian purposes. And to not have a rear rack on them, or to make you purchase a rear rack separately, it's a little frustrating. So, who do I think this is for? Well, I think this is going to appeal to an awful lot of people. If you're smaller, if you're lighter, you're not quite as strong, this thing's dynamite, because it isn't this massive, heavy thing. It's relatively easy to lift and move around. The design of the rack is like a little handle. You can kind of pick it up from the back. Really great. So for a student going to school, or maybe you have a job that's a reasonable distance away from home and you don't want to take the car, this thing's ideal, right? And that's one of the things that we kind of think, or we forget about with e-bikes. You don't have to pay for parking, you don't have to pay for license or registration or all of these other things. You end up with transportation that costs you fractions of a penny per mile to use. A 45-mile range, you're unlikely to be going 45 miles in a day on any bicycle. So, you know, leaving your house every morning with a full tank of gas, and if your job allows you, if you needed to, you could plug it in over the course of the day and get even more range out of it if you needed to. So, yeah. Gotta honk the horn. This thing's outstanding. Who won't it appeal to? It's not gonna appeal to someone who's larger in stature, right? If you're a tall, big dude, this is not the bike for you. But I test these all the time. There's a lot of these things that are great for big people. It's harder to find bikes that are great for more normal sized people, or for ladies and younger riders or students. I mean, heck, this would work great for a high school kid or a middle school kid who has an after school job they need to get to and from without mom or dad driving them to work and back. So yeah, it's great. It has the full fenders. In case you get caught in the rain, you're not gonna get all filthy. Yeah, huge fan of this thing. All right, so let's say we wrap this video up. Each of these bikes serves a different rider. The Mars 2.0 is the value choice with good portability. The Horizon is the comfort choice with full suspension and a larger battery. And the Ranger S blends all three together in a way that will work for most people. Now, none of them really feel bad. They only feel different. And once you know what matters to you, the choice becomes simple. So be sure to check out the full ride review of the Ranger S and the Horizon. I'm going to put links to them right over here. But if you've decided this is the folding hay bike for you, you can learn more with the link in the description or by scanning this cute little QR code right here. And be sure to use my coupon code DAVE100 to make sure you get the best price available whenever you order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.